Ki-Adi-Mundi was a senior Jedi and member of the High Council during the final years of the Order. The Saurian was known for his wisdom and need to be heard during all forms of issues, so when he wasn't teaching his students or arguing his point during a council debate, what did Mundi do in his free time? Well, unlike most Jedi during his time, Mundi was actually given special privileges that gave him far more freedoms than what was allowed of other members. Because of his species' low birth rate, with females outnumbering the males 20-1, Mundi was given the special exception of being allowed to get married and have kids. As such, during his time off, he would frequently visit his homeworld and mate with his numerous wives. Although he was allowed to get married and have children, Mundi was in fact forbidden to form any attachments with them. He tried his best to follow through with this rule, but of course he couldn't completely control the nature of being a father, as he was known to go out of his way to protect his children, once even hunting down a crime lord that had manipulated and later kidnapped one of his daughters. Such acts were likely to be frowned upon by the Jedi as a whole, as they viewed such actions to be fueled solely by personal need, rather than neutral commitment toward justice. While he had many wives, he wasn't actually the best husband, and tended to get into frequent fights with some of them. He was stubborn and lacked empathy with their concerns, dismissing their personal feelings on trivial matters on a regular basis. Mundi himself would get frustrated whenever he learned he fathered a daughter as well, as he always longed for a son. About a decade before the Clone Wars, Mundi was known to have 7 daughters, but not a single son. Another thing he did during his free time was to be a public speaker against the importation of technology to his homeworld, and to some extent even be against alien migration to his planet. Mundi believed that his species, the Saurian, had a unique connection to nature, and that the importation of industrialized technology would disconnect them from this harmonious relationship with the environment. He also witnessed the pollution and terrible living conditions an overabundance of technology could cause, which also encouraged his stance against them. During one speech of his, Mundi was disrupted by a group of youth who shouted down his message and later took over the stage, knocking him into the larger crowd. As he was taken away, a member of the crowd actually took his lightsaber and ended up accidentally killing their friend by turning it on. Mundi was initially accused of committing the murder by his opposition, but he was later cleared after evidence proved his innocence. This eagerness to stand up for what he believed was right didn't manifest with age, but rather was with him from the very beginning. As right when a young Mundi became a Jedi Knight, the very first thing he did was return to his home planet and go to his village in an attempt to destroy the bandit groups that were known to harass his family. Yoda initially tried to stop Mundi, believing this act of his was far too personal, but ended up letting him go, as he felt that the young Jedi's emotions seemed to be under control, and that he could learn other lessons that would benefit him. When Mundi returned home, he was greeted with love, and he later was told of the location of the main bandit camp that was notorious for raiding nearby villages. Overconfident in his new Jedi training, Mundi offered to go alone to confront all the bandits on his own. When he arrived to the camp, Mundi began to boast that he could defeat the leader of the crime gang with his hands tied behind his back. The leader of the group took this literally, as she ordered her men to tie the Jedi's hands behind his back before they began their fight. Mundi ended up losing the fight, and was humiliated as he greatly underestimated the bandit leader's fighting abilities. He later was held captive and endured pain, but was able to free himself using the Force. Not taking any risks as before, Mundi was able to confront and overpower the bandit leader by not placing himself in bondage right before the fight. With the defeat of their leader, the bandit group later dispersed and stopped attacking the nearby villages. Mundi was hailed as a hero by his village, while also learning a few lessons on humility. Also, as a bonus fact, Mundi's entire family was killed during the Clone Wars on a battle that took place on his home planet. This of course devastated Mundi, but through his Jedi training, he was able to fully overcome his grief and move on with his duties. Thanks for watching this video. Help support the channel by becoming a member on our Patreon page, and be sure to subscribe for more videos like this one. And as always, may the Force be with you.